There are stories, and then there are stories. Today, we're diving into one of the biggest of all time, the sprawling, violent, and honestly pretty wild family saga of the Greek gods. We're going to trace it all the way from the absolute beginning of everything, right up to the rise of their kingdom on Mount Olympus.
But to really get this story, you have to go back. I mean, way back. Before there were gods, before kings, before time itself was even a thing. So let's start with that question. What was there at the very, very beginning?
The answer? Chaos. And I don't mean chaos like your messy bedroom. For the ancient Greeks, chaos was something much bigger. Think of it as a vast, yawning void, a gaping nothingness. It wasn't good or evil, it just was. This was the raw, formless potential from which all of reality would eventually explode into being.
Okay, so from that ancient, silent nothing, the first stirrings of existence finally began. This is where the universe gets its first real building blocks. Three incredible, fundamental forces just emerge. First, there's Gaia, the earth itself, solid and life-giving. Then, Tartarus, the deep, dark abyss way down below. And finally, Eros, not the little baby with a bow, but the cosmic force of love and desire, the engine that would pull everything in creation together.
So Gaia, the earth, gives birth to Uranus, the sky. And yeah, he's both her son and her husband. Let's just say divine family trees get complicated. Together, they're the original power couple. They have these immense, powerful children, the 12 Titans, sure, but also two other groups, the monstrous one-eyed Cyclopes and the absolutely terrifying 100-handed ones.
And right here, this is where the trouble starts. Uranus, the first king of everything, looks at his monstrous kids and gets terrified of their power. So he does something truly awful. He shoves them back inside their mother, Gaia, imprisoning them deep within the earth. This is the first taste of a theme that's going to haunt this entire saga, a father whose power curdles into paranoia, leading him to do the unthinkable to his own family.
As you can imagine, Gaia is in agony, and she is furious. That pain becomes the spark for a rebellion, and this kicks off the first great generational overthrow, establishing this brutal, defining cycle of Greek mythology. Kids are pretty much destined to rise up and take down their parents. And this is where we see history repeat itself in the worst way possible. The son who overthrew the tyrant becomes a tyrant himself. Cronus, who freed his siblings, becomes so paranoid about losing his own power that he ends up copying his dad's cruelty, but with this horrifying new twist. It's this perfect, tragic example of how trying to run from a prophecy is often the very thing that makes it come true. See, as Uranus was defeated, he left his son with a little parting gift, a curse, a prophecy that would hang over Cronus's entire reign and become the fuel for the next cosmic war. And in this world, that wasn't just a threat, it was a guarantee.
So Cronus takes over, he marries his sister Rhea, and for a while, things are pretty good. They even called it a golden age. But that prophecy is just eating away at him. To stop it from ever happening, he does something even more monstrous than his father. Every time Rhea gives birth, he takes the child and swallows it whole, keeping them prisoners inside his own stomach.
But here's the thing about fate. You can't fight it. Cronus' wife, Rhea, just couldn't stand losing another child, and the plan she hatched would set the stage for a new generation of gods and the most epic war the cosmos had ever seen. For her sixth baby, Rhea finally outsmarts him. She hands Cronus a rock bundled up in a blanket, and he swallows it without even looking. Meanwhile, the real baby, a boy named Zeus, is whisked away to the island of Crete. There, he's raised in secret, growing stronger every day, destined to become the living embodiment of his father's greatest fear. Once he's grown, Zeus comes back. He tricks his father into throwing up his 5 older brothers and sisters, and then it's on. For 10 solid years, the universe shakes as the new Olympian gods battle the old Titans. It's a brutal, bloody stalemate, until Zeus gets a little advice from Gaia. He goes down into Tartarus and frees his monstrous uncles, the Cyclopes and the 100-handed ones. With them as his secret weapon, the tide turns for good.
With the Titans finally defeated and locked away, the 3 victorious brothers, Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades, decide to divide up the world. They cast lots, basically drawing straws for creation. Zeus gets the sky, becoming the king of Olympus. Poseidon gets the seas, and Hades, well, he gets the underworld. This is the new world order, the one that's going to stick around for ages.
So the cosmic wars are finally over, and the world starts to fill up with mortals.
But the Olympian gods? Oh, they were anything but distant rulers. They were passionate, petty, jealous, and they loved getting involved in human affairs. For them, the mortal world was their stage, their soap opera, and their playground. And all those affairs created a whole new kind of being, one caught between two worlds.
And this gave us the demigod. Think about it, part god, part human. And that dual nature was a heavy burden to carry. Their divine blood made them magnets for monsters and the wrath of jealous gods, but their mortal half meant they felt every bit of pain and would, eventually, have to die. Their lives were like these brilliant, incredible, but often tragic flashes of glory.
You know, the relationship between gods and humans was never simple. It was this weird mix of patronage and outright jealousy. Take the Titan Prometheus. He saw potential in us little humans, and in a huge act of defiance, he stole fire from the gods and gave it to us. Zeus was furious, not just because it was theft, but because fire meant technology, it meant progress. It made humanity less dependent on the gods, and Zeus couldn't have that.
And no one, absolutely no one, embodies that tragic glory of the demigod more than Heracles. As a son of Zeus, he was basically public enemy number one for Zeus's jealous wife, Hera. She cursed him with a madness that made him kill his own family. The 12 labors, those impossible tasks were his penance, his quest for atonement. His story is really the ultimate Greek triumph. The idea that through unbelievable suffering, a mortal could actually overcome their fate and earn a place among the gods.
But this amazing age of myth and monsters and magic, well, it couldn't last forever. As humanity grew up, built civilizations, and started thinking for itself, the gods' direct, hands-on influence started to fade. It was the beginning of the end of their era.
And the grand finale, the last big show, was the legendary Trojan War. This was it, the very last time you'd see gods and heroes bleeding on the same battlefield, fighting side by side. After Troy fell, the world just felt different. The gods seemed to pull back, fading from reality and into the realm of pure myth.
Over the next few centuries, new ideas started to take hold. Greek philosophy came along, offering new ways to explain the world that didn't involve a moody god on a mountaintop. Then the Roman Empire rose up, and they basically adopted the Greek gods but gave them new names, like Zeus becoming Jupiter. And finally, Christianity spread across the empire, and eventually its emperors ordered the last of the old pagan temples to be shut down for good. The age of worship was officially over.
So here's the big takeaway. The temples are in ruins, nobody's sacrificing to Zeus anymore, but are the myths really gone? Or do they just wear new masks? Think about it. The paranoid tyrant, afraid of being replaced. The hero, torn between two worlds. That epic struggle against a fate you just can't escape. These aren't ancient history. They are the absolute bedrock of our modern stories, from superhero comics to blockbuster movies. The gods of Olympus might be gone, but their epic, messy, all-too-human dramas, they live on in all of us.